It's the age of click and collect for retail technology, and that is the topic indeed of my discussion today with Kent Savage. He is CEO of Apex Supply Chain Technologies. Kent, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Explain to me the concept of click and collect.
Sure. Well, click and collect is the idea of ordering anywhere, anyway, anyhow that you want, typically online, clicking online, and then collecting the physical goods wherever you choose. So that could be in a store or it could be in an automated self-service locker system.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a practice since the dawn, I imagine, of e-commerce, but when did people start calling it that?
Well, I think the term really has evolved over the last couple of years. Sometimes we also refer to it as buy online, pick up in store, but that's really only one dimension of this broader click and collect concept. If you stretch your imagination, it can apply to fast casual food, order ahead, collect as you will at whatever location you want. It can apply to a home improvement center. It can apply to a remote site. So there are many, many ways click and collect can be embodied or implemented in the real world.
Of course, it's a lot snappier term than pick up in store or whatever you just said.
Click collect is a term often used in Europe, and so it's kind of migrated here.
Okay. What is the concept of click and collect as it applies to locker technology?
Well, the locker is a part of a broader system, but it enables the asynchronous transfer of goods. So it's a physical compartment, obviously a locker is, but it's automated with software that allows a pickup code, so I can deliver into that locker and then someone else can pick it up. They don't have to meet at the same time or be at the same place. So the whole system is really the click and collect system, and the locker is the physical presence. And even when we say locker, that's almost misleading. It can be a very small compartment, or it can be something very large like a cage or even a room.
And where will these lockers be?
Well, there are a number of different scenarios. So in one scenario, you have omni-channel retail where the retailer is actually placing the locker in their store or nearby to their store, perhaps outside of the store for a quick self-service pickup. In another scenario, you have a broad deployment of lockers so that they can be at railway stations or in parking lots or convenient locations, even multi-tenant apartment buildings, so that deliveries can be made wherever those lockers are deployed. Then you have a third scenario where there are specialty situations. It could be an event, it could be a particular type of an application, and the locker is placed right there for convenient pickup of the participants or the customers that will be at that location.
Sounds like the second and third options are more along the lines of actually developing the full promise of the technology. I mean, if a locker is at the retailer, how different is that from simply going to the retailer and buying product like the way we used to?
Well, I think it's hugely different. The two pieces of research that come out in the current moment are that the majority of purchases, even in store, are researched online, more than 60%. The second piece is that the consumer values his or her time more highly than ever. So in those click and collect systems that are dealing in store now, which there are many, the customer orders online and the product is available at a customer service counter or someplace else within the store, which is often in the back of the store. There are other services being provided, so the customer now has a very elegant front end, and they lose time and often are frustrated on the back end. So these lockers, even in front of the store or outside the store, automate and make that process seamless, quick, and convenient, and respect the value of the customer's time.
Why is this a concept whose time has come?
Well, I think the technology to do it to enable this is now possible. It requires cloud-based technology. It requires real-time communication to the lockers, and it requires a lot of integration with back-end systems, point-of-sale systems, e-commerce systems, and so on. And that is now possible and affordable and easy. I think the other piece of it is the rapid change in expectation. Just as we see the change from retail shopping to e-commerce and pre-shopping online, we're seeing the consumer expectations change, and the availability of that product becomes critical and paramount, and the time around it becomes the greatest value to the consumer.
I'm hearing that the concept is more advanced in Europe than it is in the United States, at least the locker aspect of it. Is that the case, and if so, why?
I think that's where it started. In many ways, automated dispensing and vending has actually started in Europe and migrated here. And in the case of click and collect, that's definitely true.
What are the benefits to retailers of the whole click and collect concept?
Well, it's providing a service to the customer. As we talked before, the retailer has to adjust to the omni-channel aspect of the customer zeitgeist, if you will. They expect to be able to order anywhere, anyway, anyhow. And it's not a different demographic necessarily. It can be the same demographic, and I'll give you an example. If you ask me to go into a department store, I probably am not a shopper. I'm probably going to want to get in and get out as quickly as I can, just get what I need. If you ask me to go to a home improvement store, on the other hand, I might wander around there for a couple of hours and be a shopper. But if I'm working on a project and I have a limited time to do that project, I'm not a shopper that day, that hour. I just want to get what I need and get out of there as fast as I can because I have limited time to do my work. And that's a service that needs to be provided. And if retailer A doesn't provide it, retailer B will. The retailer also has to deal with the reality of pure e-commerce plays. And they have to compete. And the great advantage that the retailer has is they have the merchandise, the goods already there. They don't have to ship it. It's already there. So now they become, in essence, a distribution center of sorts. It does require the retailer to think differently about their business and to be able to fulfill orders quickly. And they're not always set up to do that in the current moment. So as they move towards this future state, they have to revisit their operational structure.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because clear benefits to the retailer, but also challenges to the retailer in implementing it, including the choice of the correct automated locker partner.
Yes.
What are some of the criteria that the retailer should be deploying in order to find that right partner?
Well, at the end of the day, the physical locker is only one piece of the solution. So one needs to look at a partner who has a range of capabilities. That includes data security, it includes integration capabilities, it includes the ability to custom design a locker system if need be. It needs to also include the consideration of deployment, logistics, strategic planning, and so on. It's not just slap in a locker and now you have click and collect. There's a lot more to it. At the heart of it all is the Holy Grail, and the Holy Grail is the retailer must be able to make a promise to the customer and keep that promise. I will have this merchandise for you in X time, and it will be there, and know that it's going to be there, and know that everything's going to work. That takes a holistic approach and a partner that can deliver that holistic solution.
So the bottom line impact on the customer experience, how do you see that as differing now as a result of this technology?
Well, just as self-service gas pumps have changed lives, and automated teller machines and automated check-in kiosks at the airport and many other places. The speed and convenience to the consumer is going to dramatically change the way consumers benefit from products and when they can access them. We talked at the beginning of the conversation about the 24/7 I want it when I want it. And the store is only open typically a certain number of hours, but the customer may want to pick it up at midnight or at 5 a.m. or some other off time, and this technology enables that as well.
So you think that the whole idea of the automated locker technology is an option to what is the focus up to this point has been on home delivery, demanding that things come to a consumer's home, but of course often consumers aren't home, and it isn't always necessarily the most convenient thing. So this is a viable option to that form of delivery.
It's not only that, Bob, but it's also economics. There's a business case that has to be solved here. There's one other piece of the research, and it's very, very important to understand, is that the consumer wants shipping free. That's unequivocal. Many studies have confirmed that, and so they want it not when they want it. They are sometimes willing to go get it, but they want it free. So when you start talking home delivery on a short time cycle, on 1 hour, 2 hours, same day, you're talking a very expensive business case. and many times having that collective business case where I can deliver 5 items or 10, or I can just take them from the store shelf and put them in the locker, that's a much less costly solution.
It feels like this is still a developing technology, both click and collect and the use of locker technology. How long do you believe it'll be before this concept fully matures?
Boy, I wish I knew the answer to that question. What I can tell you is that the wave is coming to shore. We have many data points that say that the interest level is at an all-time high, and there are so many data points that it's inevitable this will happen. I can't tell you, does it happen in June of 2015 or December or sometime next year, but I think in the next 12 to 18 months, this explodes.
That's very exciting. Ken, I want to thank you so much for being with us to help us understand the future of click and collect and automated locker technology. Thank you very much for being with us.
Well, thanks. It's been a pleasure.
I've been speaking with Kent Savage of Apex Supply Chain Technologies. Thank you very much for watching.